Hi, this is Crystal with Stitching in the Green Mountains. I've been away for a very long time, so I almost feel as if I'm making a video for the first time ever. But for those of you who have seen my videos previously, welcome back. For those of you who have not, you are welcome here, so glad you're joining me. Today is Monday, January 2nd of 2023. So I think I've been away for maybe May. I think May might have been my last video. So it's been a long time. I've done a lot of work since then. I'm not going to go through everything because, well, I couldn't remember everything, but I did bring a few highlights just to kind of catch you up and refresh my own memory a little bit and just give me a starting point for the new year. I'm not going to do a full whip parade today. I did take a look. I have 15 current works in progress. I had three that I had put on hold, so 15 that I plan to continue with in 2023. So I will just jump right in. I'll show you some of the things I brought with me today to share, and then maybe I'll talk a little bit about my 2023 plans. So, all right. So the first thing I was going to share with you is Prairie Schooler Santa's House. This is a project that I started with my sister in November of 2021. We had planned to start it a little bit sooner, but if you've seen my previous videos, my sister prefers to stitch on Aida. She tried some linen fabric, and then she tried an even weave fabric, and then she finally said, no, I'm going back to Aida. So on her third start, we began. So that was November of 2021. And here is my finished piece. I folded the fabric, so we've got some little hanging pieces there. I finished this in November of 2022, and it was a fun piece. It certainly, I think, would have been faster. I slowed down for my sister to catch up. She's still working on hers. It's not done, but I didn't want it to linger for more than 1 year, so I did finish it up and send her a picture. And we do plan to begin a new project on March 20th or March 21st, the first day of spring. I think it's the 21st, but I have a few patterns on order that I'm going to show her for choices, and then she can order. I purchased a number of patterns that I liked, and then she can kind of pick which one we'll do together, and then she can order her chart and fabric and floss and get that kitted up, and then we can start in March. But that should give her the rest of the winter to finish up her Prairie Schooler piece. She's pretty much a monogamous stitcher. She doesn't have multiple projects going on at once, so I'm trying to be patient with her, and she doesn't have as much time to stitch because her kids are younger than mine. So I try to be patient. So there's my Santa's house. So that was complete. And then in my Flosstube hiatus, I did order a chart. I don't believe I shared this in any of my earlier videos. It's Blackbird Designs Winds of Autumn book, and this piece here, which is Mighty Acorn. I've seen people stitching it on YouTube and I love it, so I started it myself back in October, I believe. Maybe it was September. I didn't bring my notebook to cross reference, but it was either September or October of 2022. So here's where I am at. Actually, I should keep it folded. so it's not so see-through. So I started in the top corner, went across, and working my way down. I did make an error over here in counting, and I brought the corner down too soon, so I had to take that back out. But this is such a fun project. I am stitching this with DMC floss, and yes, it's DMC floss, and I'm stitching it 1 thread over 2 strands of linen, and I do not remember the fabric that I'm using. I know it's in my notebook, but again, I didn't bring it with me, so maybe I'll have that next time. But this one is so much fun to work on. I really enjoy it. So I'll probably keep trying to bring that out in rotation throughout the year. So again, that was from the book Winds of Autumn, Blackbird Design. It was here. I think I may have shared this. I may have shared that in the past, but I certainly didn't have a start. I think I had the book though, maybe in my last video. So I know at some point last year I did finish a Prairie Schooler Santa, and I started another one. I started it from this Prairie Schooler Santa book 221, and this, I have shared this in the past. I won this from oh goodness, why am I drawing a blank? Annie, the Proper Stitcher. And my husband, I asked him which one out of all the Prairie Schooler charts, and he picked this one for me to start. And so I did start that in July. I have not finished it, but I may put in a little bit more work. He's pretty close. So I just love these Prairie Schooler Santas. So I have to fill in his map. I was working on his beard. And I'm just coming down the arm right now so I can put in this first clock. So how do I do that here? Maybe like this. So yeah, my Prairie Schooler Santa. This is, let's see which year this is. This is a 2013 Santa. So this one here. So I'll finish him up at some point. So like I said, I think I started him in July, like Christmas in July, and I'll have him done before July because they're usually a pretty easy stitch. I did take him with me. My husband and I went on vacation in August to Niagara Falls in New York, and I did take him in thinking it would be good car stitching, but I ended up knitting. So I didn't do any stitching during our travels, but I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So last year, my New Year's new start was Quaker Hand Work, and I know we did a little stitch along. This is by Brenda Gervais. I was gonna say, I knew it was on there somewhere. So Quaker Hand Work by Brenda Gervais. I love this design. I just think it's gorgeous. So I started it last year, January 1st of 2022. I have yet to finish it. But this is where I'm at. So I think we spend some quality time with it. I should have that done. I spent, the past week and a half, I put in the bird in the middle. I think I had to finish the letter D at the bottom, put the crown in. I think I did the top motif here, whoops, losing it here. I think I did this, yeah, I did this top motif. I finished out the bottom details in this motif, and I put this flower in. So I did quite a bit in a week's time, just working on it in the evening. I started this motif here, which is fully stitched. I'm a little bit off somewhere on the bird. The pattern is 2 pages and the bird is right in the center, and the chart has the colored section that shows you where it overlaps, but there are no I shouldn't say there are no symbols. There is only one symbol in there, which is one of these little stitches in this neckline right here. And so I think that's where I'm off. I've counted multiple times. I was working on that so carefully, but I got sick after Thanksgiving. The Monday after Thanksgiving, I got really sick, and I'm still just getting over it now that it's January. So it's been 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Yeah, trip to Express Care, trip to my doctor. My doctor said, I think you have the flu. I was like, really? So she said, Crystal, the flu can be really bad. But anyways, I was working on this. So I think maybe just as being tired, I think maybe that didn't help matters when I was working on that bird. So anyways, that's where that's at. This is a piece that I'm planning to put my family's initials on. So I'll have my husband's and my initials here. And then on the other side, I will have our 3 sons' initials. The chart only has 4 spaces for initials, so I'm gonna have to leave an opening on one of the little motifs and to fit the 5th set of initials in there. So that is going to stay in my rotation throughout 2023 until it's complete. So again, I'll share a little bit more about that in a minute. This year, I did plan for a new year, new start. I didn't start as many things in 2022 as I initially planned to. I did slow my stitching down a little bit through the summer and fall, or early fall. And I didn't get as much done as I had hoped, but it is what it is. And you know, we're in a new year. I just ironed a couple things. I realized my iron is still sitting. It's on the ironing board. I'll have to remember to shut that off. Anyway, so I had a few projects that were kitted up, and I was waiting for the new year, new start. My last new start was in September, October, when I started Mighty Acorn, excuse me. And so for New Year's, I had 3 charts I was picking from. I have this one here, Frederick by Carriage House Samplings. This is the one I went with. I also have Frederica. I think I have her right here too. Yes, Frederica, in case you have not seen her. I had asked my son which one my oldest son, which one I should start, and he said Frederica. So on the 1st, on New Year's Day, I was up early because I went to bed early because I wanted to make sure I got a good night's sleep because I'm trying to feel better. I did not stay up till midnight. I sat down and I decided, I was like, I'm gonna do a center start. And I had kitted this up last spring when I think I shared the charts back then, but I had kitted it up and I wanted to do a center start because it was just this border was so heavy, has so much heavy stitching in it. And don't you know, I went through my floss and I was missing the color I needed in this wing. And it was early. It was like, I don't know, 4:30. And I was like, I'm not gonna count to start off center. So I pulled out Frederick, excuse me. I pulled out Frederick, and I had the floss I needed to do a center start for Frederick. So that's what I did. Let me show you where I'm at. This is just, yesterday and a little bit this morning. I am, as I said, a center start, and I've got the wing there. He's putting in his wing. I'm using the DMC floss for this, and this fabric is, let's take a look here. It's an 1/8 yard cut. It's 40 count platinum Newcastle linen. I was a little bit worried about this linen. I find it a little bit harder. I find the weave a little bit harder to stitch on. I'm using a hoop for it. As you can see, there's still a hoop ring there. And I'm just making sure I have really good light, and I'm wearing my glasses, my reading glasses for magnification. I like it. It's such a funky bird. I think it's so much fun. I said that to my husband this morning when we had breakfast, and I said, this is such a funky bird. I really like it. And he kind of goes, well, what kind of bird is it? I said, it's not any kind of specific bird. And I showed him, and he's kind of like, oh, yeah, huh. I said, but he's so funky. I just really like him. He's like, yeah, he's okay. So anyways, that's Frederick from Carriage House Samplings. Yeah, I think he's just gonna be so much fun to stitch. And so far, he is. So I think that's all the actual stitching I'm going to share with you today. Just kind of do a little catch up. But as I mentioned, last summer my husband and I went on vacation for our 25th wedding anniversary. We went to Niagara Falls, which was amazing. We also went to Saugerties, New York for the weekend before the rest of our trip. My middle son went to school there last summer, Linesman's Institute of the Northeast, and which is a school to learn to work on power lines. So you kind of do your pre-apprenticeship training there. So he did that, and we went to their kind of graduation kind of ceremony and their end of year kind of banquet events, I guess you call it. So I went to that, and there was a yarn store there. I'll show you about that. But I got something at the yarn store, which is why I was knitting the rest of my trip and not stitching. But so we were in Saugerties, and then we drove up around the Finger Lakes, and I kept looking for yarn stores and cross stitch stores. Well, Hobby House Needleworks is there, and we stopped in. My husband was thrilled, to take all these detours, but it was so much fun. He walked on the Erie, the walkway there, and took a nap, I think, on park bench or something while I was shopping. So I had this floral motif sampler by the Scarlet House, which I'm sure everybody has seen. It's been around for a while, and so many people are stitching it, and I love it. I know we've got a little bit of glare there. I just love this chart. I had kitted it up with 40 count Malo fabric and DMC floss, and I just didn't care for the DMC floss, and I was just nervous about starting it because I was like, I'm just not convinced I'm going to like it. So while I was at Hobby House Needleworks, I picked out all of the called for flosses, and they are beautiful. They're just beautiful. So yeah, there's a whole bunch in there. I think they're a little bit twisted, but yeah. So I think those are gorgeous, and I certainly will enjoy stitching on these. Something is a little bit different in the palette. I like these better. When I put the DMC flosses with these flosses when I got home, I knew I'd be much happier working with these. But I also decided not to stitch it on a 40 count, the 40 count Malo fabric. I ended up switching it out for a 36 count Winter White by Seraphim. So this is the piece that I got. Has a little bit of modeling in it. I think there's a little bit more coloring over here. I wasn't quite sure I like that little piece. But anyways, when all of the stitching is on it, it'll be beautiful. So I got that fabric and floss at Hobby House Needleworks. That was so much fun. I loved it there. There was so much to look at. I could have spent the entire day there, but I only spent, I don't know, maybe three hours. My husband was patiently waiting. That was good, but they were so helpful there. They were so patient, taking the time with me to find all the floss and pick out the fabric. It was just great. I wish I could have kitted up more, but I have that one set aside. It's ready to go. I didn't want to start it on New Year's because I was like, well, the flowers seem more spring-like, and I said I'll hold on to that one until May, and I'll do that as my birthday start for 2023. So that's my plan for that. And keep going here. I mentioned that my sister and I are going to start a new project, so I have some charts on order. And then I was watching, oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank at the moment. I was watching another Flosstube. I thought I could remember her name. Anyway, slipped my mind. I'll have to think of it. She mentioned that Twin Peaks Primitives was having a sale on their Etsy shop, 50% off patterns. So I paused her video right then and went to the Etsy shop for Twin Peak Primitives, and I placed an order because I said they have a number of charts that I have admired and over the past year. I tried to be more mindful of my spending last year because I had a lot of starts, a lot of things going on, works in progress, and I said I need to finish some things before I spend more money. And then of course I did spend some on our vacation, but I thought that was reasonable for one piece of fabric and floss for one project. But Twin Peak Primitives site on their Etsy shop was having the sale, and I said I'm going to get these now. They were 50% off. I have them in page protector sleeves, and I don't think I'm going to take them out because they're kind of hard to put back. But let me show you what I got. I don't know if this is pronounced Betty or Bet Bowman sampler. It's just, I think it's really sweet. I love the colors in these big flowers on the border. I really like that. So I thought that would be fun. I also got Gold Bird samplers. Gold Birds sampler. And I saw this on Pam and Steph's Flosstube video, I think last summer sometime. It was one of their featured patterns. So I picked this one up at 50% off as well. I think it's just beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then this other fun little one called Luncheon. The snowman, cardinals. He was cute. My mother is a big fan of snowmen, so I thought maybe I might stitch that for her, but I like it too, so we'll see. Maybe my sister will pick that one to stitch in March. I'm not sure. Maybe she'll just want something more summery too, so we'll see. What else did I get? I got Winter, or Pastoral Winter, which I just think is a beautiful scene. I like that one. And this one, of course, many of us have seen and I have admired for quite some time, is Winter Birds. And I think it's just so pretty. So I got that. And I had been on their website the previous day, not the Etsy shop, but the actual Twin Peak Primitives website. And their Winter Tranquility pattern was free of charge again. So I was able to get that at no charge. So I think that this one would be a fun stitch. There is a lot of white in that, and I'm not a huge fan of white stitching, but that could be great practice on improving my white stitching. But it's just such a beautiful scene. So I like the cardinal here in the tree, the rabbit and the deer. Just so pretty. All of those are charted, and I think most of them call for Aida fabrics, so any of those could be options for my sister to pick for our stitch along starting in March. Although she won't be able to get Winter Tranquility at no charge. Too bad. She'll have to pay for it. But I like that. So those are ones that I purchased. I do have a few more charts on order that will be coming in here this week. They're not here yet, but I should see in the next few days. So in the next video, I should be able to share those with you. I think I had some Prairie Schoolers and there was a couple other designers. The Prairie Schooler Birds and Berries was definitely one of the charts I would like to stitch. And I think that's what my sister's leaning towards, but we'll see. So again, that was my stitching, a little bit of haul. I'm trying not to spend too much money on cross stitch. I know I said I bought charts here. That's the first time I've spent money since back in August when we were on vacation, and I stopped at Hobby House Needleworks. And then I think when I bought the Blackbird book, I think I bought a few things. I want to say that was March of last year. So I feel I was really good last year in my spending on my cross stitch. So I get a few more charts. It's okay. There were so many videos on people's New Year's Eve 12 by 12. I kind of wanted to participate, but all the boys were here, girlfriends were here. It was kind of a busy house on New Year's Eve, and I knew I wanted to go to bed early. So excuse me. So I didn't make a big plan, but my sister had invited me over in the morning. As my husband and I went over, she invited both of us over to go soak in their hot tub. She said, bring your coffee, you can come over and soak in the hot tub. She said, it'll make you feel so much better. It was wonderful. So we ended up just going back in the house after we were finished in the hot tub and visited with them for the rest of the morning. And so of course I couldn't start stitching at noon. So it was like 3 o'clock before I could even start doing any kind of cross stitch. And what I did was I took all my project bags out and I had them laid on the bed. One of my sons was home at that time and he was headed out to go meet his girlfriend. And I said, so Nate, what one should I start with? Which bag? And so he just pointed to one. He goes, take that one. So I took that bag out first and I said, okay, whatever's in this bag is what I'm going to work on for an hour. And so I did that throughout the evening. I just grabbed a bag and worked on it. I was sort of in a, I couldn't make a decision to start. So he got me started. And after that, then I was able to keep moving along. So I ended up working on 6 different projects for, close to an hour each. I worked on Beggar's Night, which I really should have done because I wanted that done before my husband's 50th birthday back in October. Not quite done yet, but it is a focus piece for me here in the coming months. So Beggar's Night got some attention, as well as an Irish prayer, which I really enjoy working on that project. It's just fun. Mighty Acorn got some more work. Also One Nation, I got another star completed on that. A Prairie Schoolers Country Seasons, I was working on the summer season block, so I got some more stitches into that. And then on Gather Here, I got more stitches on that, and why am I drawing a blank? Gather Here is by, oh goodness, I love her work. Hello from Liz Matthews. There we go. So I got some stitches into those 6 projects. I really enjoyed just getting them back out. Some of them I haven't worked on in quite a while. So, so that was fun. I enjoyed that, just getting my hands back on them. In an hour, I think I'm a slow stitcher. It's evening time. It'd been a long day. I didn't get a huge number of stitches in there, but there was progress. So that was good. I think it would be kind of fun to do that every few months, just take an afternoon and just go through some whips and just say, I'm going to put stitches for 1 hour into, half a dozen projects. That could be kind of fun. I don't know. It's not on my calendar yet, but something to think about. Maybe I'll do that. So we've got 33 minutes in here. Let me just tell you what my plans are for 2023. Last year I had kind of some prompts that I had written out and numbered, and then I had some dice, and I would roll the dice each month for a number, and then I would pick a whip based on that prompt. Or some of them was like, some of the items were like sew a project bag, which never came up. But that's what I did last year, and I decided this year I'm gonna do a little bit different. So I got myself a new planner. It's not what is it? It's a blue sky planner. It's just beautiful. And I've got a lot of glare on that here from the windows. But so I picked this up last weekend, and it's just a calendar spread like that, and then you can do each week. It breaks it down. Let's see. It breaks it down like this. I don't know if I'm going to use those individual pages or not, but I started my plans. So my New Year, New Start, I have Frederick listed here, and then my January focus project, I wrote that one in. I did not share that one with you because that's, I actually worked on it this morning, but maybe when that one's done, I'll share that one. But that's my January focus. It's listed there. So I'll keep making progress throughout the month, and I'll keep picking that one up and working on it. Sorry, the ducks are quacking outside, so the dog's running by the tree, and he loves to run by the bell ornaments, so he always jingles them. I think he likes it. Anyway, so then I picked 4 of my whips. Well, and I put in week 1 as Frederick because it's my new start for the new year. So week 1, I'll spend time with Frederick and then my focus project. Week 2, my Quaker Hand Work piece. I'll take that one for the week as well as my focus. Week 3, I'm going to work on Newcastle Bouquet, which I did spend a pretty good amount of time on that here in November and December, but I didn't pull it out today. But I'm going to keep working on that one, trying to get a week on that each month because I'd like to see some significant progress on it. That was my birthday start in 2021. Excuse me. Yeah, so it's going on 2 years and I'm not quite done page 1. So I'd like to see some really good progress on that this year. And then week 4, I have Flowers of the Month, which is a free chart, and I have finished January block, working on the February block, which is violets, and I'd like to get that one done so that you know, it's done for February, and then I can start March, maybe in March. We'll see, but that's my week 4 project. And so I also made a note of my knitting, what projects I'm going to work on there. So I've got some socks on the go. I'll show you this yarn. So I'm going to jump into a little bit of yarn as I talk about my project list here. So my sock knitting, I have 2 pairs of socks that I'm going to kind of focus on here this month. These right here are for myself. This is the yarn I got when we were on vacation. I picked this up over in Socrates, New York. This is such a beautiful yarn. It is Murky Depths deep sock yarn. I don't know if you can see the Murky Depths, and the colorway is Tadpole Alley. So I don't know if you can see the colorway, Tadpole Alley. So this one is beautiful. This is my first sock here. So, you know, obviously when I finish this one, I need to knit another, but I just love this color. So that is one of my focus knitting projects, and I have one other here. I think my husband just drove back in. He's been running some errands this morning because the dog's all excited. So I get my, oh, this is the project bag I purchased at the same yarn store over in New York. This is created by, yep, there he is, walking in the door. Created with Love by Jackie. So this is a sock I'm knitting for my son. It was supposed to be a Christmas gift, not done for Christmas. Maybe for Christmas next year. That's the second sock. So the first one, I just have to weave in that tail, but the first one is done. I was looking at a hat pattern the other day and I asked him, I said, hey, do you like this hat pattern? And he's like, for what? I have lots of hats, Mom. He goes, what I don't have are some hand knitted wool socks. I think he was being a little sarcastic, but well, next year. So anyways, that's my knitting focus for January. So I have sock whips written in my planner here. Sock whips right there. And then for my sewing, I have a half square triangle quilt that I'm working on, which is a scrappy quilt. My mother gave me a tote. I asked, she did a scrappy quilt last year, and then she was complaining to me. She actually told me that she got rid of a whole bunch of fabric because she was running out of room to store it. And I was like, what? She just got rid of fabric? And I love making scrappy quilts. So I asked her if she had any more that she wanted to part with, and she said, I do. And she gave me a tote, you know, good size tote, full of fabric, and I just piled it on the table, and I cut 5-inch squares out of all kinds of colors, and I dug into my fabric totes and added to that. So I have a queen size quilt top that I should be able to complete with this fabric. I used various whites and cream fabrics as the other side of the half square triangle. I want to say, I think there's 440 blocks. I'm looking at it on my ironing board. I was ironing some of them last night. I still have a stack left to press, and then once they're pressed, then I need to trim them all up, square them all up, and then I can start putting them together. I'm going to set them in the broken dishes pattern. I made one of these quilts for my sister probably 15 or 16 years ago. She's had it on her bed, you know, ever since. It's starting to fall apart. She would probably love it if I gave her another one, but this one will probably have a different home. So I had a list in going of which quilts I'd like to work on this year. So I have that listed as well. So I did spend some time ironing last night. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting, you know, focusing on one of my crafts more than another, or forgetting about one and ignoring it altogether. I do have spinning. I probably should get back to, because I've got some I can look at a bag of wool that I've carded and have ready to be spun. So I should spend some time at my wheel. I do enjoy that over the winter. I do have a craft day scheduled with my sister, my cousin, my sister-in-law, maybe some nieces, coming up next week on Saturday, the 14th of January. So they'll come up here and we'll just work on whatever craft projects that they want, whether it's cross stitch or sewing, quilting, knitting, crocheting. I don't know if they have any quilts to bind. I do have a binding to stitch on. I have 2 quilts to put a binding on. So yeah, we'll just spend the day visiting, chatting, and working on our projects. So that should be really fun. I'm looking forward to that, which is why I need to be better, need to feel better. So I think that's almost close to 45 minutes. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm sorry I've been away for so long. Last year was just a crazy year. So hopefully this year will be a little bit more structured and I'll be able to check in more frequently. So I'm gonna shoot for once a month just to kind of keep up to date, because I'm gonna show you where I'm at on my progress of my focus, well, probably not my focus project until it's done, because that one is going to be a gift, but then my weekly projects. I think I'm going back to Beggar's Night I think that one will be my focus project in a couple of months, if it's not done before then. So yeah, so until then, I hope everybody has a wonderful new year. I hope it's, you know, everybody else is healthy and everybody's enjoyed their holiday festivities, seasons. You know, it's 2023. So cheers. I'll talk to you later. Bye.